Hey, Amy here from Mixing Babies and Business for another live stream, and I couldn't have planned this better. It's between school pickup times, and there's a school bus beside me right now, but I'm just between appointments. Today I wanted to share, or this week, the last two live streams I shared, I covered putting yourself out there more and getting more visible and why you might want to do that. And this last week one was after I got some photos done for the first time in over 6 years, and I shared things to consider if you're doing photos alongside your kids, either bringing toddlers or babies with you to a photo shoot, or deciding to do it during school hours, which is what I did last week. But this week I have a short one for you, and I wanted to talk about when you pitch or present and develop your talk, how I approach it. So it was about 20 years ago now. So yeah, 20 years ago, I did advertising in college, and I had a teacher who was a former ad agency executive, and he shared with us, he taught us presentations and research topics in our course. And he taught us for presentations that you should tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. I know it sounds very simple, but those three things are how I've framed pretty well every talk, every, you could say like interview, every pitch, every time I've gone into a situation where I've had to either pitch my business, ask for something, teach something, deliver a workshop, or deliver a webinar, either do a 5-minute lightning talk, even if it's a short one. Tell them what you're going to tell them, number one. Number two, tell them the thing. Number three, tell them what you told them. So this can look like, for example, I am leading into this live and I'm saying, hi, it's Amy from Mixing Babies and Business, and I have 3 important things I want to share with you today that are going to help you with your talks, help you design your talks, and be able to feel good about delivering that message. And then I would tell you the bit in the middle, that is the information, and then I would recap what I shared with you. So I do this on every webinar, every workshop, everything. And I usually design my slides like this too. So I like to speak off the cuff, or, off the top of your head. But I have slides usually to guide me, and depending on the audience, I might have less words on the slides, more pictures, more concepts, maybe just some visuals or frameworks. So it depends on who the audience is. But for example, when I did pitching and presenting with kids, I would start off with telling the audience that I'm going to cover why you might want to pitch and present with kids, how to do it, how to plan and prepare for it, how to show up and deliver it, and then how to rest and recharge after. So I cover those kind of 3 or 4 different areas, and then everything that I design in my talk, I have my couple different areas that I'm covering, and I build my content down from there. So I'm not sure if this is coming across without visuals, but the simple concept that you need to remember: what do I need to tell them they're going to learn? How am I going to tell them this? Or what am I actually going to tell them? And then how am I going to remind them what I've just told them? And luckily, as a parent, if you have young kids, they give you lots of practice with this. So it's like, what do you expect from them? What do they need to do? What's the outcome? Then you remind them, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is what I asked you to do. This is why this is happening. So think of your audience in terms of what do they need to know? How do you prepare them for what you're going to be telling them, so that they don't feel kind of, they're anticipating it, but you're kind of catching them by surprise, but you're priming them for what is coming next. Give them the bit in the middle. That is the important concepts, that the message that you need to have as a takeaway. And in a future live, I will share how I do this and exercises that I use to help me get clear on the message. But for now, think about your next talk that you're going to pitch, or your next guest speaking opportunity that you want to apply for, or the next meeting that you want to lead, the next conversation that you want to have, the next ask that you're going to do, how can you start off with that? Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So hopefully this helps you, and I will invite you to share in the comments if you have any examples of using this, or if you've heard this framework or this simple 3-step process before. But it's memorable, it's easy, and when you get overwhelmed with just heard a noise there, I don't know what that was. There's no kids in the car right now, so I'm not sure where that noise came from. But yeah, if you're overwhelmed by like either the length of the talk, what you're going to cover, how you're going to do it, just take it back to those simple 3 things. Start from there, put those headings on a paper, and write down the bullet points or the dot points, the areas that you want to cover and how you want to take them through it. And how can you simplify what you're going to say so that it's really easy for your audience to get the information, to digest the information, and to clearly see how they can take that information forward. So that's it for this week's live, and I'll be back on next week with some more public speaking, pitching, and presenting with kids tips. Have a good week.